you ever get in a zombie apocalypse, never to help you.
Fine by me. You know why? 'Cause there won't ever be one.
Oh, we'll see who's laughing in the end.
What end?
The end of the world?
Oh, you can't be serious.
Oh, I'm dead serious. And you know what else I'm serious about?
What?
Introducing our next act for the variety show, act number 7, Grayson Tartt, returning from last year's variety show, doing another hilarious stand-up comedy routine.
How are y'all doing tonight? You don't have to yell at me. Yeah, some of you probably already know me. I'm Grayson, but I'm going to get some introductions out of the way. All I really need to know to get a decent read on me as a person is that I once Googled what it meant to Wang Chung tonight. Anyone know that song? For the uninitiated, it was a song from the 80s by a band called Wang Chung. And the chorus was roughly, everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. What's a Wang Chung? Like, I understand the concept of having fun. I've had fun. But how does one Wang Chung? I've never Wang Chunged. Wang Chang? Wang Chang? Never mind. So I go into Google and I type in, how does one WAN? First two results are, how does one Wang Chung and how does one Wang Chung tonight? Made me feel much better about myself, not knowing that other weirdos had looked this up. But the third result was, how does one want love? So I learned at that point that two very, very different camps Googled, how does one WAN? And I'm glad not to be in the other one. But yeah, I'm Grayson. I want to be a stand-up comedian professionally, and I think I'm the only student in this school that's ever said that on purpose. Like that's plan A. Something went wrong somewhere. Yeah, no, I even put that on some All About Me presentation in a class I had last year, and I walk up to the teacher and I say, hey, you ever have anyone say they want to be a stand-up comedian before? And she looks up at me and she says, no. Now, like, no, that's very interesting. I've never heard that before. She said, no. Try again. That's the wrong answer. No, yeah, I've been going here for a while now. And they're like 7 years, I think. But there's still things that like don't make sense to me, and I don't think ever will. Like school lunch. Like I get the concept. You're here for like 6 hours. You need to eat eventually. But it's the execution that kind of scrambles my brain a bit, because I don't think anyone's ever sat down and thought, man, I love this cheeseburger, but I'm just really thirsty. Actually, you know what would go great with this? You know what would be amazing to wash down this mouth-watering, savory quarter pounder? Milk. That sounds amazing. Cause like a cheeseburger, a little like pint of chocolate milk, a juice box, mashed potatoes, and carrot sticks doesn't sound like a meal you'd make on a good day. Like that sounds like the kind of thing that like a small child would make out of play food, and you have to go like, yummy. Thank you. No, yeah, like I said, I've been here for a while. I'm a senior, and I can definitely say that I have a highest point and a lowest point in my high school career, and we're gonna start out with the highest point because that's how I wrote the set. So I got these socks for Christmas. They're Green Day socks because I really like the band Green Day. Thank you. And I walk into the cafeteria after Christmas break, and I walk up to my lunch table where all my friends are, and I hike my foot up on a chair, I pull my pant leg up, like, check out my cool Green Day socks. And all my friends, they kind of like clap for it, and they stop. Thank you. And you know, time passes, we're having some like fake argument, and eventually I hike my foot back up, I put my pant leg back up, like, I'm sorry, I'm the one with Green Day socks, I'm right. And you know, they clap again, and I sit down, and we stop clapping, but then that table starts to clap. That table starts to clap, that table. By the end of it, we're clapping again because the entire cafeteria has broken out in applause over my stupid Green Day socks. Like, did any of you like students here have 4A lunch last year? Yeah. How did you know when you were clapping for my stupid Green Day socks? And now my fall from grace. This was also last year. I had driver's ed. And this was like the Friday before spring break. It's me, this other girl, and Mr. Gluck is the teacher we're driving with. And we're driving down this little residential area. I'm behind the wheel. And Mr. Gluck says, all right, turn left here at this intersection. And then I turn left, and my arms stop. It's like my brain for a split second, like buffered. But when I came back, it was to Mr. Gluck going, straighten out, straighten out. And I looked forward, there is a car in the left lane that we are barreling towards, slowly. And there were a lot of sounds that happened in quick succession here. There was the sound of the other car honking her horn at us. The sound of the front of our car hitting the side of hers. This boom, which we learned later was our tire popping somehow. And Mr. Gluck going, what? Okay, I've been advised not to continue with that bit as it would violate the non-disclosure agreement. You know, we hit, and Mr. Gluck has me pull over, and as he gets out of the car to check the damage, he goes, gosh dang it, like I knew he was frustrated, but I didn't know he was that mad. And you know, I'm sitting there, and I'm still squeezing the steering wheel, my knuckles are turning white, and I glance down, and there's a little indicator in the dashboard displaying tire pressure, and the first conscious thought I can remember having was, I don't think a tire should be at 0 PSI. And you know, I'm just left sitting in there. Worst part was that the radio never turned off, so it was just like a panic attack scored by pop hits from 10 years ago. Eventually, Mr. Gluck pops back in. He says, hey, don't worry, nobody's hurt, but the police are here because they have to file an accident report. And I look at him, I go, okay. And I'm left sitting there for a little while longer. I don't know how long it was, panic attack. But eventually a police officer walks up to the driver's side window. And you know, I roll down the window, put my arm out, lean out. How can I help you, officer? Always wanted to say that. He asked me for my phone number so he can file the accident report. I gave him the number. I wonder if he's gonna call me. It has been a year, he hasn't. Now let's loop back around to the fact that the tire popped. The tire on the car popped. And there was no spare in this car. We had no way to get back to school. So we had to get another teacher, free 6-hour Mr. Peters, to drive us back to school. And what I learned shortly before getting out of the car to get back into Mr. Peters' car was that the woman we hit, very understanding older woman, was Mr. Peters' wife's co-worker. So as I'm walking to the other car, I see this older woman, phone held high, like on FaceTime or something. Mr. Peters behind her, she goes, look who I just ran into. And at that point, I wanted to get a picture of her and text it to my dad, like, look who I just ran into. But we get into Mr. Peters' car, and as you know, I was in the show last year, and I had told Mr. Peters this, and as we're driving back to school, he kind of glances at me out of the corner of his eye and goes, so I guess you got some new material for your next variety show set, huh? And I go, yeah. And we get back to school, I was like 20 minutes late to class. I kind of wobble in, sit down, I do my assignment, but eventually my teacher leans over, she goes, Grayson, Mr. Gluck wants to see you in his office. I go, oh, okay. And I get up and I toddle on over my big old parka, and I walk in, and he's like, hey, it was just a lot of like, it's all right, no one's hurt, there's not pressing charges, you already talked to your parents, it's okay. That's just a lot of like platitudes. And as I walk out, he says, hey, just try a little better next time. And I look over my shoulder at him and I go, oh yeah, I'll take out the passenger side next time. And you know, I leave, spring break comes and goes, and then the following Tuesday, when we'd be driving again, I go to get in the back seat of the car we're driving in, and I hear a voice behind me go, hey Grayson. And I turn around, there's Mr. Peters in the car next to us. He's rolled his window down, and he's looking up at me with a look on his face that says what he's about to say is really funny to him. And he looks up at me and he says, hey, good luck. You've been amazing, have a great evening, enjoy the rest of the show!